Teachers Independent Network. We are so excited to have all of you here again this week. Welcome to Geraldine. How are you today?
Thank you very much, Jamie-Leigh. I'm very well, and it's really good to see you. And I'm ready to dive in. And I feel this is going to be a really good discussion. I'm all pumped up for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be every week where we're pumped up, we're excited, we are energetic to engage with the community of teachers that we are seeking to help. Because we really, Geraldine and I have spoken endlessly about how much independent teaching is going to change your life and has already changed so many people, other teachers' lives. So today we're going to kind of discuss the truth behind or about burnout, and why it's not your fault. You are not doing anything wrong. You're not teaching too little. It's not you. So we're going to quickly just go through that. We'll share our personal stories. Geraldine and I will share our personal stories. And then we will also explore the way out of this toxic hustle culture. We'll discuss a few different things as we go along. There's a question I had on my mind this whole week leading up to this podcast, as we've discussed the teacher burnout, right? What did burnout look like for you? And how did it make you feel personally as a teacher, like physically, mentally, emotionally? How was that for you?
Yeah, I think for me, Jamie-Leigh, honestly, I felt like I was stuck in a loop, mentally, physically drained, and from constantly having to chase bookings and having to hop from one Zoom class to the next. Really, just felt like exhausted at the end of the day. So of course you want to give your best, you want to perform, but sometimes having to work like for 10 hours a day without little breaks in between, and you feel your back is killing you, that for me really felt like burning out. I had no time to do anything in between, and that really is something that really wears you down in such a way that you feel completely exhausted.
Absolutely. It completely being physically overworked. It just puts so much strain on your body. It's not something that you can explain even. Constantly just exhausted. Yeah. And it's really sad.
I think you also had a similar experience about burning out. Would you like to share that?
My my experience in teaching, because I don't teach anymore, I find it more rewarding to help teachers. I've been doing it for about 4 years. This will be my fifth year. Um, when I was teaching, I felt exactly the same. Not so much chasing the booking, but just that back to back. You're teaching 25 minutes in the same hour. So you would have to teach two classes within the same hour, and it was just exhausting because you just about got a 5 minute, like, okay, I can close my eyes for like 2 minutes, where you could blink your eyes and you could actually stop smiling. Oh, my face. You have to be so energetic and so animated. So it really, though, those things really did weigh on me. They really did. And at the time, the company that I worked for, we were paid based on the rating that we received. So if you got a 5 for your lesson, or you got no rating for your lesson, you would get paid base, the minimum amount that they would pay you for the hour. Yeah. So, and then also, if you had your 25-minute sessions, you'd have two. So your hour average based on those ratings would be what you got paid. So it was really competitive, constantly wanting to achieve those tens to get paid the higher rate. And I'm not a competitive person. Oh my goodness. I don't like competing with people. I have to constantly like push myself so hard. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
So yeah, that
yeah.
for me, that was definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, you want to do things at your own pace. You want to feel comfortable and you want to enjoy teaching. Because honestly, I do love teaching. I just want to put it out there. It's really something that I love, connecting with students around the world. But of course, your health comes first, your mental state comes first, which is really something we need to think about.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when it comes to systemic issues, the system that is running teachers down, how have things like low pay, the long hours, the hard hours, and the administrative, oh my goodness, the admin that goes behind teaching, it's relentless. How did it affect your day-to-day life as a teacher?
Yeah, the constant need to just be cheerful, to just be happy out there, that really put a lot of stress on a person. Of course, I think my personality is a way that I can easily connect with others, but just the fact that sometimes these last minute cancellations can really put some pressure on you, because if there's a cancellation, no pay. So so for me, platforms sometimes they treat you like you're replaceable, and that is something that's emotionally exhausting as well. When I looked at my financial status, that wasn't enough to live on. So the low pay, your mental health, and of course the time zone factor as well.
It can really feel so strenuous as a teacher, especially for me, it was the admin part of it. Every single lesson, we were allowed to kind of do our feedback reports at the end of the day. I did that maybe once or twice, but can you remember 4 hours of 25-minute lessons? Can you remember? I couldn't remember. So having to actually do the feedback reports immediately after class in that 5-minute window when I just wanted to close my eyes and kind of relax and take a breather, yeah, that whole 5 minutes was completely taken up by the actual fact that I needed to do that. And there was some that I enjoyed though. Sometimes I liked giving feedback because the student was amazing or it was just a good time in class. And then other times there would be regular students that they came and it was just fun and we had a kind of conversation. And
Yeah.
I was so used to them. I would see them for weeks on end, and every single lesson I would have to do a feedback report on them because that's just how the system was. Yeah, that would be quite kind of tedious for me, for real. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the feedback part for me was a very essential, very important part, because students love getting feedback and they want to see where they can improve. I also had a challenge of doing that prep or feedback in within 5 minutes, and that's not enough time, because you want to spend enough time giving my student feedback so they can go read about it, improve, and maybe have a discussion about it. But the time factor in between was really challenging for me as well.
And then the other company that I worked for when I was working from home for this company, if the students struggled with a specific word and they were learning vocabulary for the day, we would have to find the word, the phonetic spelling, the Google phonetic spelling, and it had to be a certain way. And it was just like, why are we doing this? All the things we must do.
I think I think sometimes we bend over backwards to keep our students happy, and we have to smile throughout, and that's sometimes also really exhausting.
If we're thinking about exploring a way out as the Teachers Independent Network, where we help teachers develop their independent teaching businesses, their independent projects, programs, it doesn't have to be that you are running a full business. You are running your little freelancing business. You are helping teachers. You can help students. You can help institutions. It doesn't have to be that you are only teaching. I love students, I love teaching, but I don't find it as rewarding as I did back then.
Mhm, mhm. I really love my students. For me, and 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 I am in the position of transitioning now from working on platforms, working for schools, to become independent. So I realized that building somebody else's business, and we just there to survive. And the moment that I realized that, it is when I started taking ownership, because everything starts to shift for me in that moment, finding my own students, setting my own rates, and just building that real relationship with your student, not having to chase ratings, not having to chase bookings. You can do it at your own pace, and for a higher rate. So I think platforms should be tools that we can use, but it shouldn't be there to just trap us. So that's how I feel about exploring a way out. There is a way out. Um, we just have to find the right community, the right support. Mhm.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be that toxic hustle culture where you are doing five different things just to make ends meet. When you look at experienced people, marketers online, for instance, these big names in marketing, or business development industry, you'll find that what they are doing is they've become so good at this one thing that they are sought after. People want their skill because they are so good at this one thing. You don't have to be good at 10 things. Geraldine can be really good at teaching students that are teenagers specifically, that are from the Netherlands. That is your niche because you love the market, you love the country, you love that niche. You don't have to be teaching Japanese students that want to learn business English. That may not be your forte, it may not be what you want to do. So if you can find your niche, if you can find what you enjoy, the internet and has opened so many avenues of income and so many avenues of different things that people need nowadays. In 50 years ago, who needed a social media manager? Nobody. It wasn't a thing. Now it's a thing, and I feel like we should be taking advantage of the opportunities that are arising because these things are needed. You don't need
Exactly.
to be You don't need to be
Mhm.
hustling all the time. You just need to be good at the one thing and be an expert at that thing. The more of an expertise that you have, the more you get paid for that thing.
Absolutely. Teachers can find the freedom without feeling trapped. It's not about doing more, it is about doing smarter. So you can control your own little community, you can do things in a smart way because nobody needs permission to build your own thing. So I think there's a lot of opportunities out there. You mentioned that the internet just really opened up things for us, and especially South Africans. So you just have to have a clear path, a clear plan, and be consistent. I think it's all about being consistent.
Absolutely. There's one thing that I was also thinking as well, if you could redesign the teaching profession, what is one thing, just one thing, that you would change and why?
It's about the power within you. So I would say let's flip the power dynamic. You know, you have the power, you have your own skills. Why not use that? hmm Let's cut out the middlemen and let's really be in charge, because you're already powerful. Nobody have to control anything about you. Just you, your own terms, your own rates, and yeah, be consistent.
Mm, absolutely. For me, I would focus more on the teaching industry in its entirety. Something that I would change is the empowerment of teacher to parent. There's a kind of a disempowerment happening there because the system is in such a way, it's XYZ, so the teachers have to walk in XYZ way, and then they will add more letters of the alphabet on there because we need to bridge this gap because we see there's a literacy gap where there's no comprehension. There's a gap there, there's a gap there, there's a gap there. So it's inundating the teacher with so much responsibility in the classroom that they don't have the time, they don't have the resources to actually empower the parent to then help their kids at home. There are so many children that their parents can't help them. It's lost on them. Like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand. I feel like that really needs to come from the teacher because the teacher understands exactly who your child is, what they're doing. They understand your child in the classroom. So that for me, That is one ginormous thing that I wish could happen, that the teachers are empowered to empower the parents, because there wouldn't be gaps in the education system if the parents were empowered much more than they are right now.
Yeah, yeah, and they need that motivation as well. You are a parent, I am, and we feel lost when it comes to schoolwork. So we need that empowerment, we need that motivation for parents as well. I do agree.
Right. So we have come to the end of our podcast. For the community, I would like to engage all of you in a love question that we have for this week. So, what would you say to another teacher who feels like they are drowning in their teaching career right now? You can reach out to us in the comments. You're more than welcome to DM us your answers, what you feel, what you think. Share this with your friends. Have discussions with other teachers. That is us for the day. Geraldine, I appreciate your time. I always appreciate your time so much. Thank you so much for availing yourself, because this is really so important to teachers and it's going to help so many people, especially South African teachers.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much, Jamie-Leigh. And I feel that this episode, we discussed a lot of core points, challenging points. And I think teachers out there, if this episode really sparked something in you, just remember that you are not alone. This is a community where we can build on together, and we are here to empower one another. Thank you, Jamie-Leigh, for your time as well. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you to each and every one of you for liking, for sharing, and for commenting on our podcast. We will see you next week.